Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Chuck Graham Show. Got a lot to get into. Well, not a lot. I got a few things I want to say. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Well, one of the things I wanted to address that I thought was really hinky, right? When I first started seeing the new Black Panthers, I guess is what they're called. And I had heard, I don't know this for a fact, but they were talking about the old Black Panthers, call them the Black Kittens. Anyway, they were chanting anti-BLM, anti-white, hell, anti-everything. And they were calling out some of the rednecks and some of the other groups that are supposed to be white supremacists. But what I found the funniest, and a friend of mine brought it to my attention, and I didn't really notice it because I wasn't paying that much attention, but some of those weapons weren't weapons. They were knockoffs of paintball guns, and the flak jackets and the vest that they were using, the combat vest that they were using, were inadequate. It was kind of like things you would buy to play paintball with. It didn't even dawn on me because I wasn't paying that much attention to it. I just thought, wow, they're being escorted by police. And that was the thing that struck out to me the most. You're protesting the police. You're armed, supposedly. You're chanting, hell, we don't like anybody. But yet you're being escorted by the police. I thought that was interesting. I'd have to go back and watch the videos to confirm all of it. But what in the world have we gotten into? I mean, the world is weird, right? I mean, you've got just anti-everything, cancel culture, everything. I mean, if you don't, Frederick Douglass, for God's sakes, you're going to tear down his statue? And I bet you dollars to donuts, it's going to be someone from Antifa or BLM that tore that statue down. It would surprise me if it was some redneck somewhere hooked it to his truck and drove off with it. But because of all the nonsense and the cancel culture we live in, makes no sense. Makes no sense whatsoever. I didn't even know where I was going to begin today because, it's... But one thing I will say, Parler. Oh, my God, I love that place. Parler.com. P-R-L-E-R. Not O-R. I think that's a porn site. But I love it. I love their free speech stance. And the CEO was saying that they adhere to the definition of free speech confirmed by the Supreme Court, which is awesome because we should be protecting the speech that we hate because, today's hate word, today it's kike. Tomorrow it's Jesus. Hell, they already tried to get rid of white Jesus. But let me tell you something, folks. Jesus wasn't white or black. He was most likely a Middle Eastern man. He was probably brown. And I always have a motto. Don't mess around with God and disrespect him, and don't have a pet that can take you. That's my two things I live by. I don't know. I look around today at all the protests, and then the media. Oh my God, the media is going to say, "Well, you can't." What was it? Newsom up in California. Oh, you can't. You can't sing at church. You might spit the coronavirus out. Oh, but they can chant death to America and burn people's businesses down and spit all over each other and be 60,000 strong in the middle of the street, and that's okay. But God-fearing, actually honest, hard-working Americans can't go to church because they might spit the coronavirus on each other. I did not agree with this lockdown at all. I said, let the chips fall where they may. And during this lockdown, I've gained a considerable amount of weight. So I'm probably in that class of, vulnerability. So all I can say is, folks, this stuff that's going on today is not helping. And I don't want to use the word heal. It's not like America's cut. But I will say that the economy is going to be everything, and it will not surprise me if we find out later that the powers that be inflated the numbers on this. And I often said, someone gets eaten by a crocodile, they died of COVID. If they had COVID when they brought them in. So I think the numbers are inflated. I don't agree with the mask wearing. Never have. And I'll tell you something else is coming too. I was talking about that today with a friend of mine that's an attorney, and it's coming. Section 230, it's coming. And I'm going to tell you something, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, all they have to do is change the language of that statute to say, instead of saying, even constitutionally protected speech can be deleted, all it's got to say is, constitutionally protected speech cannot be deleted. Then you're going to have a major decision to make. Either you're going to become an edited platform, which means if you start taking down my videos, I can sue your ass. And I would love that. I'd act pro se. Or you're a public forum, like you tell everybody you are. You're not a public forum. Parler is a public forum. YouTube is not a public forum. Neither is Facebook. Neither is Twitter. They do some next level. I've been in Twitter jail. Oh, your account's been suspended for 11 hours because you tweeted out something that they consider hate speech. Well, I got news for you. Free speech is hate speech. There's a difference between hate speech and inciting a riot. Twitter will actually let illegal shit be said over their platform as long as it's liberal. And never say anything about it. They shadow ban. So does Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg. I don't trust anybody that doesn't blink. But like I said, where are we at in society today that you've got these huge tech companies that control our lives, literally. We didn't ask for this. Section 230, when it was passed back in 1996, you had discussion boards, like 4chan or places like that. You didn't have this kind of stuff, So they've been poking the bear, and Twitter fucked up when they targeted Trump. Look, you don't like him, you like him, who cares? But you start targeting the president of the United States and trying to censor him. Oh, especially Trump, that loves to get into quarrels with people. If that man wasn't a billionaire, he wouldn't have survived all this. He wouldn't have. But what the media hate about him is the fact that he just doesn't care. He just doesn't give two shits. If he offends them, well, I've never seen in my lifetime the kind of honesty that comes out of his mouth. And I'm not talking about he's honest all the time. He blusters. He'd be a damn good car salesman if he wasn't president or a billionaire. Everything's great. Everything's this. There's never been nothing like it. We know that that's bluster. This is part of his personality. But look at him lying again. He's lying again. Give it a rest, folks. He's Donald Trump. So, well, that's going to conclude it for me. But that's my rant for today. And I hope everybody's doing well. God bless you all. And I'll see you on the next video.